the previous administration.
Oh my goodness. Guys, we're back for another installment of Run It Back. This week we got, like as Donovan said, a good movie to talk about.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Oh, yes, dude.
This one.
Oh man,
Was that you, Sonny?
I did that.
He's psychic.
I am the best.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it, Sonny the Hat.
Get into it.
What did you? Is it called me Frankie Fresh?
Frank the Fresh?
Yeah.
The movie was awesome, man. I think it was the first time I said badass in a long time.
Yes.
I think. Ooh.
Don't point at my drink like I should have partaken.
You should have, man. Dr. Pepper. Come on now. That's the face.
I don't usually yell at Frank, but that's how you know I'm worked up.
That's the face we get when he's not showing, and all of us are being crazy. I can't wait to run that back. No, but seriously,
I'm sorry I yelled at you.
it was.
Okay, I was trying not to spit my drink out.
We're happy dads today.
Cheers.
Yeah,
cheers,
we are.
cheers.
Cheers.
No,
I'm Dr. Pepper today.
You suck. I thought it was really fun, and it was like a great movie. How are we gonna get through this?
I don't know. We just started.
Eventually.
No.
When we run out of time.
Okay. Seriously.
Let's lock it in.
Movie was good. Movie was super badass. I think the fighting scenes really showed how. I don't want to keep using badass. How Captain America actually is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right.
The pacing was different than what we got from like kind of all the previous Marvel stuff from this point
There's
on.
more intrigue for sure.
Yeah,
Right.
there was more like, okay, it's like action, spot on. Like, you know, it made me feel more into the world of what, I mean, I never thought Captain America was like the dude, you know what I mean? Until I saw this and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this guy got hands, you know what I mean? Like, this is kind of fun. This man got hands. He can hold his own up against billionaire playboy philanthropists and like alien superheroes, whatever.
Right.
So I think that this was a turning point for me in interest going forward because I was like, okay,
I think that's a good point.
I never was interested in Cap
Sonny made a good
comics.
point.
Oh, damn.
Good job.
Jeez. No, I was never interested in Cap comics or even
Yeah,
the
neither
lore
was I.
behind. And then Winter Soldier came out, and I was like, okay, like
Yeah.
there's got to be something behind this.
Yeah.
And having the yin and yang opposite with Bucky coming back as the Winter Soldier, him catching the shield when he was just like, yo, I'm just like, that was in the other one. I'm just talking about like him being as.
No, that was in this one.
No, I don't want to keep going on like the badass note, but like having like a yin and yang character to Cap.
His even change.
It was just so cool seeing that play out. So
Right.
I don't know, definitely a fan. I don't know. I give that like an 8.5.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I
give like a
4.
No, like an 8.5. No, because we're not too nice on the Thor movies. So if I was to just do,
tried to be.
if I was just to just plain out do 1 out of 10 for Winter Soldier's up there for me. So I would say 8.5. 8.5 was a good
Your
movie.
top 5 or 6 MCU movie?
100%. It's top probably after all the Endgame, Infinity War stuff. It's I would say top 5, maybe even 4. Who knows? It's definitely top 5.
What about you? Good looking.
Hey, yeah. Honestly, a lot of the stuff that he just said, I echo. I mean, easily top 5
For sure.
all 3 of the Captain America movies: Civil War, Winter Soldier, and the First Avenger. Those all 3 were solid.
Yeah.
I like how pretty much how they paced everything out within those 3 movies is how I wish they would have done Thor. You know, where you had more of the origin in the first one. So, okay, we see how he becomes, that super soldier.
Right.
And then we get more expansion and we get more characters and we get more introductions and we get more action. We get that his world expanded.
Right.
And then we continue on with Civil War and follow down the storyline. So that would have been great if they did that with Thor.
Yeah.
As far as the Winter Soldier is concerned, yes, easily in my top 5. I enjoyed every minute of it. Intrigue. I always love intrigue. I always love whodunit, what's going on. I don't know what the heck's going on. somebody tell me something. You know,
Yeah, like something's happening.
Like what is going on? Somebody's after somebody. You know,
that
I
too.
love all of that, and I think also we got the we got more T'Challa in this one, right?
No,
No, it's
Yeah.
Civil War.
That's-
Because
okay,
I
I'm
was
getting
even
confused.
mistaken even the scene of him catching the shield. And I was like,
Right. Okay, so
that
was Civil
is
War.
definitely this one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which
okay.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
being in the theater and I was like, oh my God, he caught the shield.
Yeah. I think the only
Trailer.
scene that kind of messed with me a little bit, and it was the one where he's holding the helicopter.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a little. That was.
They got to show off the guns
Yeah,
for
I was
Chris
like,
Evans.
okay, yeah.
He got like the medium Old Navy shirt. And he was just like,
Not the medium Old Navy shirt.
He tore in real life during the scene. He tore something in his shoulder.
Oh,
trying to,
really?
Trying to do it in real life, and then they CGI'd it because
Oh wow!
you're trying to carry a helicopter.
But I mean, just Winter Soldier. I mean,
Look it up. Don't look at me like that. Look it
I
up.
don't believe that they actually let him try to hold the helicopter.
Look it up.
They're like, here, pull it out of the air. Oh, wait a minute, he can't
I'm
do
sure
it.
it was at his request if he did.
For sure.
You know, because he wants to.
Tom
get
Cruise
Who do you think he
could do
I
is?
was gonna say Tom
I
Cruise
was about to say, wow.
He was.
I saw the. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to get off topic, but Tom Cruise is out of his mind. Shout out
Man, it's
Xenu.
Yeah, he
Crazy.
is.
Shout out Xenu, man.
But yeah, so I mean, it was a great movie. Oh man, and then just it's one of those things where it's like the hero is only as good as his villain,
Yes, dude.
and Bucky did a
Outstanding job.
outstanding job.
Yeah, he was great.
And then, you know, and then the whole, and I may be confusing the movies again. I hope not. But
Yep.
when we get with Baron Zemo and the book, and
That's a different movie.
Okay,
Mhm.
that is a movie. Okay, so
That's the
later
other one.
on, you get
No, but
into
it's
that,
the development from all of that. Though. I get it. I get
So
it.
you get all that. You know, it's amazing. It's all right.
Did you just wink at him?
He did wink
And,
at me.
Like, didn't think I wasn't gonna catch that, or like.
He does that from
Okay,
time to
so
time.
are
You're
you gonna be
jealous.
next, or
I had 3 happy dads. I'm
Nice. He's
All
feeling
right.
good.
I'm feeling good right now.
catch up player?
Okay.
Baby numbers.
Dr. Pepper.
Oh jeez. I really enjoy this movie. I think it is one of the 5 best Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like up there with, it's not quite Infinity War Endgame for me or the first Iron
No.
Man, but it's up there with Guardians of the Galaxy and things like that and Civil War.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really love those movies.
Yes.
I think this is the first. And Marcus is trying to throw me off. This is the this is the first sequel in the MCU that knocked it out of the park. You had Dark World,
Yeah.
Iron Man 2 and 3, not great. Yeah, I guess you could call Avengers a sequel to as a whole, and I guess that works
Yeah,
out, but
I
not
guess.
technically a
No.
sequel. I think that this set the groundwork for the through line for every single movie, because I
For
think
sure.
a big issue with the other sequels to this point was there was no connectivity from movie to movie really, except for the main character.
Fair.
And one of the reasons Avengers works so well is because we know Loki. We know what he can do.
Right.
We know why he's a danger to everybody. And the who is this? What's happening with the Winter Soldier? Even if you knew, like I knew watching who it was, it's still incredible to watch it play out and the relationship between Bucky and I almost said Chris Evans, but Captain America, and their relationship drives this movie and
Yeah,
figuring out what happened,
love
and it
that.
drives a bunch of the movies going forward, like Civil War,
Yeah.
which is really a good follow up to this because it touches on all the things that this movie had built upon.
For sure.
And I think watching this, it's interesting. It keeps your mind engaged, and it's also super cool. The fight scenes, we would be remiss if we didn't mention the elevator fight scene
Oh yeah.
where Captain America takes out everyone.
That
and
is one of my favorite scenes.
Anybody want to get off?
Exactly. And it builds to an incredible moment later on when he's trying to save the whole universe, where he's in that elevator again and he's like, I can't risk fighting all these guys again right now. But he knows what
What could
they're-
trigger that?
And so he says Hail Hydra, which is a little bit of a
Little Easter
nod
egg.
to the comic books and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he learns this movie is the start of building the Captain America who lifts Mjolnir in Endgame
Yeah.
and fights Thanos. And
Yeah.
I think the Captain America series is the best of them, along with the Avengers
Easy.
series.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Easy.
I think that's got a lot to do with the villain in this one. It's a good one. It ties into the character and makes
For
you
sure.
care.
For sure.
And Chris Evans is great. Chris Evans is everything you want from someone who's going to be Captain America, the best person we have to offer. And it's not just because he's strong. It's not just because he's powerful.
So you bring up a point where I've never really compared Cavill to him in a, I guess like a, who would you say in Marvel as like the hope guy?
Yeah.
Versus who would you say in DC is like
absolutely.
the hope leader guy?
Absolutely.
And like they both do very good job
Right.
at doing what their character demands. And it's really interesting to just like see the dynamic between like comparing the two.
Right.
I never even, just to this day, like Superman versus Captain America without the powers, but just like the leadership and the importance and the hope and the speeches and all that kind of stuff. Right. It really does. It does numbers for the casting. You know, they did a really good job.
Great.
No, that's
really
good
job.
One of the things that I took away from watching this, because I mean, I've watched Winter Soldier a few times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the stuff that was sticking out to me was, Nick Fury, and it's kind of like a look ahead. Like I'm trying to like think about what the Secret Empire or Secret Invasion series is going to be like.
Yeah,
and Nick Fury kind of holding his own. We had all the police and everything like trapping him in his SUV,
dude.
And he's just kind of waiting till the last minute, trying to manage the situation.
Yeah,
you know, I'm interested in seeing what that series is going to be all about. But you mentioned Bucky. Sebastian Stan does a great job. I mean, Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson. Yeah, you know, there's that whole dynamic of really of Steve trying to trust someone else.
Right.
He's got to fight his best friend from his childhood.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and he's establishing a new relationship, friendship, partnership.
Right.
With Sam Wilson at the same time.
Yep.
It's a
weird
complicated.
dynamic.
It's a weird dynamic for him to balance. But I would put it as like it's a top 5, or I mean, you say 5 or 6 depending on whatever. It's top 5, 6
top 5
MCU film.
We can easily say around the room top 5 because we've gotten some really crappy movies, and then you go watch an OG like really good one like this.
Yeah.
And in the first 30 minutes, I'm like, this is so
Well, it keeps you engaged the whole time.
the whole time.
It benefits
the whole time,
too,
man.
Sonny. It benefits a little bit that it followed 2 movies that were kind of stinkers. Not kind of, they were stinkers.
Dark World
and
and
I mean, if you're comparing it versus Dark World, if you're comparing it against Iron Man 3 or Fast and the Furious, if we're comparing it against those movies, I mean, they don't hold up.
Not even a little bit. Not even
at
a little
all.
bit. And do you think that there was like a meeting where they were like, hey, like these aren't like going the way it should?
I don't know if back then, like it's 2014 when that movie came out. It's the same year that Guardians came out. Our Guardians came out, I think, like 4 months later.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
I don't know if there was like, well, maybe we switch it around, because at the time, a lot of people were saying within Marvel, within Disney, really doing marketing, they were like, this is kind of a risk for us. I don't know how people are going to receive Guardians. We're going to get into that movie next week.
Yeah.
They felt like at the time that was a risk.
I'll talk about this a little bit again next week. Guardians of the Galaxy, when I was talking to a friend of mine when I was in high school, it was 2014, whatever, when it was coming out. Sorry, Frank. And he was like, he legitimately thought that the Guardians movie was going to be a spoof movie. Like it was going to be a movie that was making fun of the Avengers. I was like, no, this is a legit thing. And I think this movie, Winter Soldier, went a long way to building Avengers and Winter Soldier went a long way for building confidence in a movie like Guardians. And I think, what is Guardians? What is the core of that movie? It's the group. It's their love for each other and what they do for each other. What's the core of this movie? A dysfunctional family with Bucky and Cap. Yeah. And I think the scene that speaks the most volumes about Captain America as a character in this movie and what Bucky means to him is when they're in that helicarrier, whatever it's called, and they're fighting, and Bucky is beating the crap out of him, and he's like, fight back, and Cap's like, no, I'm not. I will not do that.
I'm not going to give you that. You know what
and
I mean?
His love for Bucky goes as far as into Civil War, and that carries these movies and those characters. And
going out of his way to protect him.
Shows you who Cap is and what he stands for.
Wait to get to Civil War, dude.
Yeah. So I think one of the things that makes this movie successful too is the fact that it taps on a lot of different sensibilities. So you have the whole superhero aspect of it, but you also have scenes like that.
No, you have real life
where you have that grounded, like straight up, federal agents are after you that grounded. You have violence.
Yeah.
You actually have more realistic violence.
More
guns.
risks.
There's guns. There's guns being shot. So that kind of gives you a more grounded sensibility, as well as having the superhero aspect in that charm as well. So I think that was a big part of it.
Scarlett Johansson was really good in this too.
I think
she was.
So
I
good.
think the way I would
She was.
describe this movie is there's levels. There's a good superhero movie. But it's a superhero movie.
Mhm.
This is a good movie.
Yeah.
This is not just a good superhero movie.
Right.
You
Like-
could take the Marvel intro out of it and just put and if they didn't connect to whatever characters
Right.
and just made it a movie,
If
you're
it was
like
just a spy action movie,
yeah,
it works.
spy
It
action movie. You're
works.
like, this is
And
pretty
that's
cool.
the problem with the two that preceded it. They try so hard to be one thing, and that's what I mean. Like in a vacuum, like Thor, Dark World, and Iron Man 3 are okay movies. They're fine.
Yeah.
But without the IP characters, no one would ever see these. They wouldn't matter. This
Yeah.
movie is great regardless.
By itself. As a movie.
Right.
I'd go back anytime.
Like it could be a James Bond movie if it was,
Yeah.
because James Bond movies typically are a little bit over the top anyway. So you could see that kind
That's
of
what I
thing.
said. If you take the Marvel intro and the logo out of
right.
it, and it's just like you said, like some spy adventure,
It'd be great either way.
and a character and an enemy, and like,
An enemy.
dude, his character design. He has the mask in the beginning,
Yeah.
the long hair, the black under the eyes, the metal arm. I'm
Well,
like,
and that's a good example of the visual storytelling that they're telling. Is this the first one that the Russos directed?
I'm not sure.
I think it is. This is the first one that the Russos directed.
Might be.
And their visual storytelling. You can't see his face.
Yeah,
You're not sure who he is. That's a big plot point of the movie. And another kind of idea of the visual storytelling is there's another man behind that man, Robert Redford, who we haven't talked about very much.
Right.
I know Sonny probably
that's
played it.
right.
I don't
Oh,
know
yeah,
about
that's
Marcus
right.
or Frank.
Yeah, I remember.
But the Modern Warfare 2 video game with General Shepard, who is supposedly on your side the whole time. He's helping you the whole time. And then switches it up on you at the end. You're like, this is the guy I've been fighting the whole time.
The entire
Right.
time.
And it worked. If that was all that the movie had going for it, it'd be like, whatever. But there is so much more to it than that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see. I'd like to see Chris Evans. Would you like to see Chris Evans come back and play Captain America?
1,000%. I would rather him come back over RDJ just because of
instead of RDJ as Tony Stark? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would rather we get one or two cap scenes because I'm grateful for what RDJ did. He did the snap and all that kind of stuff. Even if we get what is in the Ironheart, we might get some flashbacks or
Right.
He might be the AI.
which
that she's
I'm
talking to in
not
the
all the way
series.
sold on,
I
just
don't-
because
I
the
don't know.
character. You know what I mean? But if
We have mixed feelings. We've got mixed feelings about
Yeah.
this show
No,
just in general.
But
Right.
if,
I'm not
we
sure.
were to get Cap back, not as old man Cap, but just as Cap, I'd be stoked for that.
like he's the post credit scene
Oh,
for Captain America: New World Order.
I would like
or something. Yeah.
sold, bro.
I would
Sold.
like a old Cap. The reason I don't necessarily want Tony and Cap to come back is because I want Endgame to matter. I don't want Endgame to not
Correct.
matter.
That's what I'm
That's a
saying.
good
He
point.
did the snap. He did the sacrifice. Like
Right.
let him
And
him
that's-
let him live.
That's
from
the
that.
beauty of this story living on in the movies. In comics, they have to bring people back because they have to keep telling stories.
Right.
Sure.
And so, although sometimes the weight of comic stories kind of get hurt, sometimes that's why
For sure.
limited series are a little better sometimes from a compelling standpoint.
Yeah.
These movies have an opportunity to make stuff matter. Comics always have to return to the status quo.
Have to.
These movies don't,
No.
and that's why it's a little upsetting that these new stuff
I like that a
hasn't been
lot.
great.
I like that a lot.
And because I want these new characters to carry it, but I really like Sam Wilson as Cap, and I think he has an opportunity to carry that torch if they do the right things moving forward. And that's why. But Old Man Cap would be interesting because he didn't die. He could come back and give
he's alive.
sage advice to Sam, but not take away from him still being the hero now.
Yeah.
I couldn't say it any better than that.
No,
That was
that's
really
good.
good. That was really good, dude.
Yeah.
I agree with you as far as them having the stakes, like for it to matter.
It has to
Basically,
matter.
they're telling-
It
they're
has to
telling a
matter.
larger story.
It has to matter.
I mean, guys, we're on an uptick as far as these movies go.
Oh, definitely.
I mean,
Right.
now
we got good ones coming up
we
finally,
have
dude.
for the next installment of Run It Back, we're going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy,
Amazing.
kind of like the the
Soundtrack.
sleeper hit. The soundtrack is incredible.
Amazing.
We get Chris Pratt in the MCU is pretty crazy.
Rocket.
Rocket is amazing.
Rocket is awesome.
Can't wait. Yeah,
I was hoping he'd jump up because of the pin I got.
He's got his pin.
Could care less about Gamora or what's her name?
Zoe.
Could care. Yeah, Zoe. No, it's all about
I
Rocket for me.
read something, and she's like, she's had like 4 movies that are over $1 billion.
Infinity War,
billion.
Endgame,
Good for
Avatar,
her.
and Avatar 2.
That's crazy.
All 4 of them have more than $2 billion.
That's crazy.
There's
And
only 5 movies that have made more than $2 billion.
what's the
6
fourth?
maybe.
Is it Titanic?
No,
Third,
it's the
Titanic
two Avengers.
Is third.
What for James
Well,
Cameron?
I can tell you. No, the
What are
6
the
movies
5?
that have 2.
What are the
I think
5?
it's 6. It's Avatar, Endgame,
Infinity War.
Titanic, Infinity War, Force Awakens, and
Mighty
Avatar
Ducks. Oh, sorry.
2. Yeah, the Mighty Ducks and Avatar 2. It's those 6
Force
that have made it.
Awakens.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think from
I
the
love that
time
movie.
that they released it and
I
how
think I threw up a
important
little bit.
how important it was for the
love that
time. I think it brought butts and seats. People were
did.
Force
people,
Awakens?
yeah,
Sure.
people are gonna go see that.
Sure.
You know?
And it was butt. It smelled like butt. Force Awakens. Oh God.
Me and Marcus have a Force Awakens
So
argument.
We
going on.
may be doing.
I was gonna say,
I
do
don't
we
think
need to
it's
do
a preview?
Do we need to do Star Wars after the Marvel run
was-
back?
We're gonna wait until we get a little further down in the line of the run it back, but we will be doing Star Wars run it back
I'm
after.
down to do from the first episode
Yes.
until whatever they put out.
Yes, we will be doing Star Wars. I just spoiled it for everyone.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh,
We just spoiled it for the guys. We'll be doing Star Wars after we finish MCU movies.
Oh man. Oh. Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Do I have?
That's going to
some
be a lot of fun.
opinions?
So
Yeah.
do I.
that'll be fun.
It sounds to me like Marcus and I don't.
I'm excited.
That's going to be
Gotta
fun
make
to
sure
talk
that
about.
they're sitting together for Force Awakens.
I cannot wait.
Guys, thank you for taking the time to check us out. We will be back next week. And all this week, we're going to have lots of stuff for you guys to check out. Follow us on our socials. Sunny the Hat and Frankie's Fresh Groceries. I don't know what my thing is. We'll talk to you soon. Paulie B.
Yeah, follow Funky Fresh Groceries. I don't know who that is,
I
but
don't
that
know
sure
either.
is what Frank said.
Marcus,
Friendly Neighborhood
night, everyone.
Podcast. Subscribe.
We'll talk to you
like.
later.
We love you guys. Share.
Feet Finder.
Yep.